was just taking off, and the one thing that I thought I had done right in my life was deciding to marry Camille.
Tell me what Lauren was doing career and education wise.
She had just finished her dental hygienist degree, and she had been working, I think, for about a year in that field whenever everything happened.
Did she move down here when y'all got married?
We were working on it. She was still finishing the contract where she lived in Murfreesboro.
Was she looking for work here?
Yes, sir.
And was the plan for her to move down here full time?
Yes, sir.
In June of 2024, specifically the 13th, that evening, did you have an opportunity to speak with your wife?
Yeah, I came home from work, had a long day. We had planned to have a date night, but her and Camille had been texting all day, her and little friends.
Who did you say she was texting
Camille
with?
Marty.
And Camille Marty, did you know her as well?
Yes, sir.
How did you know her?
That was Boston Carr's fiance.
She was engaged to a friend of yours?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Carr?
Yes, sir.
And did they also attend y'all's church together?
Yes, sir.
And so you said she'd been texting Camille and some other friends. What were they doing that evening?
They were planning to have a little girls' night at Lindsay Chandler's house.
This right here is the gut punch moment, the last text from his wife saying, "I'm coming home, I love you." It's those tiny moments of normal life that hit the hardest in court, because they freeze time right before everything changes.
And they were just going to hang out and do whatever girls do, I guess.
Where did Miss Chandler reside?
They lived in Port Arthur.
Okay. When was the last time you saw her?
That night, or that evening, afternoon. So it was about, I would say 4 o'clock. She cooked me dinner, and we talked for about an hour, and then she went on her way.
Do you know what time she left to go to her friend's house?
I want to say it was like around 5 or 6.
After she left, did you have communication with her that night?
Yes, sir. We texted.
And she went to Miss Chandler's house?
Yes, sir.
And do you know what they did there?
I believe they swam. I know they left the house at some point and went and got snacks at HEB and a couple stores. I can't remember which ones, and they went back to the house after that.
Now, Lauren and her friends, did they drink alcohol?
Yes, sir.
Any of them do drugs?
Yes, sir.
Is there any kind of partying going on?
Yes, sir.
Swimming and hanging out at the house?
Yes, sir.
When was the last time that you heard from her?
I believe I fell asleep around probably 11 or 12.
And had she texted you at that point?
Yes, sir. The last text, I believe, was that she was coming home to see me soon and that she loved me.
In the early morning of June 14th of last year, did you realize something was wrong?
Yeah, I woke up and it was probably, I want to say 1:30 or so. I can't remember the timestamps, but I woke up and she hadn't texted for a while. I had her location on my phone.
And so at that point when you woke up, did you expect her to have been home by then?
Yes, sir.
Was that unusual for her to have been out that late with her friends?
Never.
You stated you could follow her location on your phone. Were you able to do that?
I was, but it had her in front of the prison or the jail for like an hour or so when I woke up and I saw that. Maybe it was an hour, I can't remember for sure,
But it wasn't moving, was it?
it wasn't moving.
So what did you do?
I immediately threw clothes on and got on the road.
And you're driving from where?
From Beaumont.
As you got close, did you realize something bad had happened?
Yeah, so when I turned that curve going on 69, I saw a lot of.
You saw lights?
Yeah, I saw the lights.
Chris, when you pulled up, could you tell there had been a car crash?
I knew there was something wrong.
You can feel his voice crack here. The flashing lights, the confusion, the dread. This is the moment every loved one fears when the phone doesn't ring back. And remember, this isn't just testimony, it's reliving trauma in real time.
Can you tell Judge what you did see when you pulled up?
I couldn't see much because it was the median was in the way, but I turned around on the underpass and I saw there was a cop that stopped me. I guess he was directing traffic. And I asked him, I said, "Has there been a wreck?" And he said, "Yeah." I said, "My wife, her location was right there." And so he let me through. I drove through and I was stopped about probably 100 yards from the spot of the accident. And I couldn't remember exactly what was asked or what I said, but they basically told me, I showed them my phone, I showed them the location, and they couldn't even tell who it was or who was in the vehicle or anything, because the bodies were just...
There was a burning car at the scene, wasn't there?
Yeah.
And from that car, there were no survivors, were there?
Yeah. They took them, I believe they took them weeks to find out who it was.
But was it ultimately identified to be your wife?
Yes, sir.
Lauren Stacks?
Yes, sir. She was in the passenger seat.
This is...
And there it is, the confirmation no one ever wants. The car burned, no survivors. It took weeks to identify her remains. That detail alone shows how violent this crash was, a devastating example of how one reckless choice can destroy multiple lives.
Dumb question, Chris, and I'm sorry to ask it. What's this done to you?
It's affected me in every single aspect of my life.
How long has y'all been married before she...
Only 19 days.
I'm sorry you have to be here, Chris. I'm sorry all these people that are in the courtroom have to be here. You and I spoke about this case, the legal side of it, and what can possibly happen. What are you asking Judge West to do today?
I think the only thing that can be done is the maximum sentence. I think that's the only way that any kind of healing can be done. From just on my end and from the 1,000 lives that were affected by this senseless tragedy.
Thank you, Chris. I'll pass it to Sharon.
Any questions? Thank you.
How old are you, sir?
I'm 22 years old.
And, well, back in June of 2024, were you engaged to be married?
Yes, sir, I was.
And who are you engaged to be married to?
Camille Marty.
And how did you meet Camille?
I met Camille right during COVID at a church conference in Sebastopol, Mississippi. She was from North Carolina. I was from Beaumont, Texas, so it was a pretty unlikely meetup, in the middle of nowhere, Sebastopol, Mississippi.
And I take it y'all hit it off.
We did. It's a hilarious story that I was in the altar in the worship service, and she was in the altar in the worship service, and we saw each other in the altar, and we probably made eye contact 20 times in the worship service in the altar. And after service, I made sure to say hi to her.
And at what point did y'all become engaged and married?
We got engaged in March of 2024.
Now, what was Camille doing as far as work and education at the time of her death?
She had just finished nursing school. She had graduated that May.
And had she moved down here?
Yes, she graduated in May, and after the graduation, my family went to a graduation in Mississippi and moved all of her things down to Beaumont. And she lived in Beaumont for 2 or 3 weeks before the accident.
Now, church is pretty important to you and your family, isn't it? Tell me why you're so connected with the church.
The church is my life. My father is the pastor of the Apostolic Church in Beaumont, and everything I do on a weekly basis revolves around my faith in the church.
And you are friends with Christopher Stacks, correct?
Yes, sir.
And y'all had this friendship And both were starting your families together at the same time, is that correct?
Yes.
And y'all had brought your fiance and his wife into y'all's church family.
Yes.
Were they embraced by that church?
Absolutely. They were loved by everyone. And that's an understatement.
Is it fair to say that most of these folks behind me are church members
Yes, sir.
that are here to support you and Christopher and the Eisenhower and the Marty families and Lauren and Camille?
Yes. Most of the church family.
How did you find out that Camille had been killed?
I was asleep, and my dad busted into my room, and it was about 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning. And I remember waking up, and he just said, "The girls got in an accident." And my first thought was that they had to be okay. There was no way something like that could happen. And I immediately asked, "Are they okay? What hospital are they at? You know, what ER are they in?" And all my dad could say was, "They didn't make it." And all I could say was no. Just no, no. And I jumped out of bed, and I still just couldn't believe it. There's no way. And I got dressed as fast as I could, and I ran downstairs, and I didn't know what I could do. I thought there was something maybe I could do. And my dad just told me, he said, "Bubba, there's nothing you can do. There's nowhere you can go. Can't do anything."
And since this has happened, how's it affected you, Boston?
I had begun building my life with Camille and my life plans and our life that we were building together, and we had just begun to build together, was just taking off. And the one thing that I thought I had done right in my life was deciding to marry Camille. And with that gone, I feel so lost in like this life that I was supposed to have has been taken away from me.
I'm asking the same question that I asked Chris. What do you want to see happen here today?
2 men, 2 weddings, 2 lives shattered, and both asking for the maximum sentence. This isn't vengeance, it's desperation for meaning in a senseless loss. It's powerful because you can tell, they are not angry, they are hollow.
Full sentencing underneath the law, that's possible.
And that's actually not enough, is it? Nothing can fix it.
I don't believe it is.
I understand. Thank you, Mr. Carter. I'll pass it to Sean.
No question.
Thank you.
There were a couple of things that I would be able to talk to you about. One, you've been in jail continuously since this happened. That is correct, yes. And there was something about a jail incident. Can you tell the course what that was? Is that the only incident you've ever had while you're in jail? Yes. But we'll tell the judge what's out. Yes, there was rumors going around my dorm that I had on TV remote control, which I never did. I don't know exactly what was the deal with that. But I made one of the officers up there that I needed to talk to him and kind of let him know. I said, "Look, you know how I am and stuff. They're saying I've heard this is a rule going on. I don't have nothing to hide. You know, it's not true." And it just said okay and kind of walked away. And then I guess about 30 minutes later they searched my cell, but they didn't find nothing because I didn't have him. And so, were you ever disciplined or written up or sanctioned in any way? No, sir. No, they just. So that's just something that happened that you put it in here, but you weren't honest. Nothing was found. No, sir. Nothing was found. No, wasn't punishment. Yeah. What have you been spending the time in jail with? What I've been trying to do whatever I can to to get back physically, doing what I've done, like basically walking, a little bit of therapy. I mean, we don't have no therapy or nothing, and like out there, to see the civilian world. So I just do whatever I can. I do that in talking to other prisoners. I've been mentoring some prisoners there since I'm one of the oldest in my dorm. One of the few older people there in my dorm. So I've been mentoring some younger guys in there and just help around like with the troubles in life and stuff like that. They do. We remember the church before. Yes, sir, I'm on Southern Rock Church. How long had you and your family been attending? We've been going there for about 20 years. I know your face wasn't a jailhouse conversion. No, sir, it wasn't. Have you, in that regard, have you done anything with other prisons as far as talking about your faith and things like that? Yes, sir, I have. You and I were talking about having trial.
This is where the legal meets the human. The defendant admits full responsibility, no excuses, no denial. But here's the haunting question. Can remorse ever outweigh devastation? Courts wrestle with that balance every single day.
I want you to explain, Judge, why did you decide to really guilty? I decided to be guilty because of my drinking that night. I caught this accident. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I went out the wrong way. It caused this tragedy.